Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we are discussing if the world has got gravel bikes all wrong.
We've also got a bunch of hot tech, including the new game-changing tyre inflation system that was used to help win the Gravel Champs. We've got even more World Gravel Champs tech. We've got a new British-made urban bike. We've got some new shoes made to look like old shoes, and we've got a new category ranking system for online racing. Right, on to this week's main talking point. So, firstly, in case you've been living under a rock and haven't seen that the Gravel World Champs were on last weekend, spoiler alert, Marianne won the women's race and Mathieu won the men's race. But what was kind of the main takeaway point for me was not only the fact that the racing was exciting, but it would appear that lots of people, myself included, are still not entirely sure what a gravel course or a gravel bike actually is. You see, we had people on road bikes, we had people on endurance road bikes, all road bikes, rowdy gravel bikes, racy gravel bikes. There was even some people using suspension on their bikes.
Yeah, and then when it came to tyres, there was all sorts going on. There was tubeless. Some people were on slicks. We saw tyres with pretty decent tread on them. There was a mixture of gravel and road group sets. Even on some bikes, it was actually gravel on the back, road on the front. It was all kicking off. Marianne had a special tyre inflation system that allowed her to adapt her tyre pressure on the go, which we'll talk about later in hot tech.
It's all a bit crazy, right?
It is all crazy.
It kind of, right, Conor, it leads me to the question to ask. WTF is going on? Do you actually know what's going on?
Well, I think I did see some comments that were criticising the course again, saying it was too easy, too much of a road course, but I kind of tend to disagree with that, because for me, that is why I like gravel, and why I like gravel racing, is because it is such a wide spectrum. There's such a large array of choices that you can make to determine your kit. That's really exciting for me. It's part of the racing, and it is cool how you can make these choices and they can have a real impact on your race as well.
So perhaps you could say it's horses for courses.
It's horses for courses, and I do think a course like this is separate. Like, you couldn't have done this on a road bike with 28mm tyres. I just don't think you could have, but I just don't think you'd be able to race
Well,
it.
you definitely wouldn't have been fast. I think, it really stands out to me that I think, broadly speaking, like the bike industry, people in general, and myself to some level, are sort of trying to lump gravel bikes into one defined like box and category. And they're not all the same. They're all so broadly different. And I think when you start to look at the different bikes that we use in this event, you can see why we should start to differentiate them out. But I think it kind of just leads to the question of, like, they're not all the same, and gravel is so diverse that we need to start to look at them differently. And I think the fact that this course, well, some people were saying it was easy, and you could use slicks and a road bike on it, I just don't really know where that leaves me feeling, if I'm honest.
I think that's part of it. You know, as I said, like when I was racing, there was some road races. Gravel was just kind of, it was just starting, and you were seeing gravel sectors coming into road races. I actually won a race like that here in the UK, the Sickle Classic. I was really proud of.
I know, I saw the day you won it. I was there. I just didn't win, did I? Yeah.
But there was also other races in Belgium, which were trying to kind of reinvent themselves. They had these gravel sectors in, and honestly, at the time, it was a bit of a joke because it was just too much for road bikes. Like, the team cars got stuck. It was mayhem right through these sectors on like 25mm tyres. So it's like gravel is above that. It's crazier than that. And you have a bike that's for the job and properly designed for it. I think where the confusion lies, where you see like the American gravel races are like the pinnacle, and they are different to what we saw in the UCI World.
Yeah. So, well, going back to the bikes a little bit more rather than the specific races and the courses, because I think that is arguably what is causing this confusion, is that you've got extreme gravel, like maybe over in the US, and then UCI level gravel in Europe, which is a bit more road racy. So if we look at the women's race, right, Marianne won on a Cervelo Aspero, 33mm wide tyres. That's like a cyclocross tyre. And then Lotte Kopecky and Lorena Wiber's Specialized Crux. They're basically racy gravel bikes without loads of clearance as well. And then, you look at the men's race. Mathieu won on a Canyon Grail. That's a racy gravel bike. Florian Vermeersch, Terra gravel bike. I'd probably define that as a midway gravel bike. And then third place was also Quentin Herman's Canyon Grail racy gravel bike. So we have seen gravel bikes like come to the top, but they're also the type of gravel bike that I think you would say, well, I've defined it as a racy one, but you wouldn't be like bike packing across the desert with that kind of bike, would you?
No, but these are bikes that are designed to ride as fast as possible, be as light as possible for the course. You're going to be sacrificing comfort as a result by not going as wide. But when you're travelling that fast, that's what it's all about.
But that leads me to my whole point. We can't just call them all gravel bikes because they're so different. Like mountain biking, you wouldn't do it, would you? You wouldn't go, here's a mountain bike and just accept that there's 10 different variations of it.
So you think we're getting to the point where it's time to start naming
we need
subsections of gravel
We need
bikes.
to sub-categorise it.
Yeah.
We've got racy ones, rowdy ones, bike packing ones that really shouldn't really go on gravel.
Well, at the moment we've got two categories, let's say. We've got your kind of adventure-oriented gravel bike and you have the more racy side of things.
Well, there's everything in the middle still.
So, but that you think there is another one. Okay, I agree with that. And that's where the interest for me lies, because as I think the World Champs progresses and you see the course moving from location to location, there's going to be a bike that's going to stand out for each course.
Yeah, I think arguably that's partly some people's frustrations with gravel, is that they feel like it's trying to create all these extra different types of bikes that you need to buy and you feel like you've got to have, and brands are making like 3 different versions of a gravel bike, and people are going to go, well, I just want a gravel bike. Well, the answer is, when the terrain is so like broadly varied, it's nearly impossible to have the best thing all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly. But there you go. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think gravel needs to have more names, or maybe we're just making it a bit too complicated and it's a gravel bike? And
everyone has accepted it in the mountain bike world. We've kind of half got there on road, like all road endurance, racy road. I think we need to just accept all gravel bikes are different and we need to split them out.
There you go.
I feel like I've got that off my chest a little bit.
Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm on your side. Time for hot and spicy tech, and first up are the GRAVAA self-inflating hubs.
So these were used by Marianne to, well, not specifically to help her win, but a part of her winning bike setup.
Well, I mean, she did kind of win because of them, because she was sprinting against Kopecky on slicks with perfect pressure on her tyres. So you could arguably say that this piece of tech won her the race.
Well, anyway,
it's a top sprint.
Before we get on to talking about the GRAVAA self-inflating hubs and wheel system, I think I need to acknowledge that I was once again proved wrong when it comes to tech predictions, because a while back I said that tubular tyres were basically dead in the water, extinct, no one was going to use them again other than certain really niche applications. Turns out Marianne just won the Gravel World Champs using tubular tyres.
Oh, you gotta love tubulars. They'll never be done. They'll never be done for me.
Maybe they're making a resurgence.
They'll have a special place in my heart forevermore.
Well, I mean, they are cool. I thought we were only going to see it used in cyclocross, but turns out quite a few people still use them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the GRAVAA hub. So I think this kind of tech isn't actually brand new. It's new to gravel, but we have seen it used before, I think around Paris-Roubaix. Is that right?
Yeah, so there were a number of teams testing this before Paris-Roubaix. It looked like they might use it on race day, but they kind of drew back from actually using it in the race. But it was much talked about, because for a race like Paris-Roubaix, perfect piece of tech to be able to adapt to tyre pressure on the go softer for the cobbles, harder on the road.
So do you think this could be its like seal of approval that's then going to get people on board with it?
I feel like it is, and I feel like this, like the gravel worlds and races are a perfect testing ground for these pieces of tech, and that was what I was thinking as well. It's kind of exciting. We might see like bigger leaps forward in tech for races like Paris-Roubaix and the classics.
Yeah, okay. So this exact system that Marianne was using is from a company called GRAVAA, and it's their, let me get this right, kinetic air pressure system, or CAPS for short. Essentially, you've got a pneumatic sort of like pump encased within the hub of the bike, right? And then it's digitally controlled via your head unit or a little button that you can put on your handlebars. Allows you to drop the tyre pressure to whatever you want it to be. And then also, this is the most incredible part, inflate the tyres back up. So there is obviously a bit of a downside to this, because it doesn't store air pressure. It's literally generating air pressure, right? So you've got to take a bit of it's going to take a little bit of effort away from you. So I think it's said, let me get the facts right here, depends on what tyres you're going to be using, you can gain around 14 psi of pressure per 1 kilometre of riding.
Oh wow, I didn't
and
know
it's going
that.
to cost you about 4 watts in efficiency.
Oh, so you actually have to use your own kinetic
well, because
movement.
once the hub engages to make the little pump inside pump, it's going to add some drag onto the hub, right?
That's interesting.
That is really cool.
I love this.
I think it is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm amazed, considering some of the things that the UCI does and bans, I'm amazed this has sort of not slipped under the radar, but is still being allowed to be used. And nonetheless,
Could it like, say you're running tubeless tyres,
yeah,
and you flatted, could it reinflate your tyre back up? Would that work?
I don't know how much air it can generate. Well, we've got an idea of 14 psi per 1 kilometre, so as long as your tyre isn't losing more than 14 psi every kilometre, it will keep it pumped up even if it's deflating.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that is so
Like
amazing.
you could see people stopping having punctures in races. The tyres are like...
Yeah, the bit, I'll tell you the bit I don't like. One, the hubs are kind of quite chunky, right, to get all this technology inside, but that's fine, I can get over that. The thing I don't like is that there's a little tube which runs from the hub up along one of the spokes and then sort of tees in at the valve to get the air pressure in.
Yeah.
I just think for like the amazing technology, that element of it looks a little bit clunky. But I don't know, I've got no idea how she would do it, so.
Yeah.
Right, the weight to these wheels, 1,970 grams for the pair, and you're looking at a price of just under 4,000 euros. So, I mean, yeah, they're up there with some top spec wheels, right? Yeah. Next up in Hot Tech, we have got a British-made urban bike, which is new. It's from a company called Pashley, and it's called the Pathfinder. 4 different versions of this bike available, right? You've got the Pathfinder E, the Pathfinder X, and the Pathfinder XE.
Love this. Love it.
So have a little look at these and sort of tell me your first thoughts, basically.
I love it. This is right up my street.
Yeah.
I love a bike like this. Love a Pashley. I mean, it's just a bike that serves a beautiful purpose. Amazing mudguards, full coverage. I love how everything is like beautifully designed as well. Nice chunky tyres.
It's kind of like what I think most people would describe as like a bike for everybody.
Yeah, this is the sort of bike that you want to give to someone who says cycling is really hard. But, you know, when they're riding around town, it's like, this is too much effort.
On a clapped out old bike.
Ride that, you'll have a totally different experience.
Yeah, you will. So I tell you what, so not only I think they look really cool, I like the sort of ethos and the design element behind it. It's like all British made, British designs, all kind of like done in-house. So it's handcrafted in Britain, I'm just reading this here. Considered a blend of trusted Reynolds 725, 631 and 525 butted steel tubes with 3D printed steel parts on the frame. I think it's pretty neat. Understandably, the E-assisted versions of the Pathfinder and the Pathfinder X, like a bit heavier and a bit more expensive. But prices start from like just under £2,000 for the non-E-assisted version, then it goes up to 3,295 for the E-assisted versions. It's using the Marley X drive system, I think it is, the rear hub motor. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, and like you say, that's the kind of bike I think more people should be looking at as your everyday get around, like do it all
100%, 100%.
Right, next up, we've got some news from Zwift, I believe. Do you want to run through
this is like a new kind of category system. If you're racing on Zwift, it should hopefully make it a bit fairer in terms of you're ranked according to your kind of current ability. This is based off your racing positions, power data, things like this. So it should make it a bit more of a level playing field.
Because like skills and tactics are coming into this a little bit more.
Tactics as
rather
well.
than just like power curve.
Yeah, okay. So if you ride like I did and terrible tactics, you're not going to get a good score.
You're doing yourself a disservice here, because I took the liberty and took it upon myself before the show to look up both of our Zwift racing scores. You are ever so slightly ahead of me, right? Do you want to know your score?
Go on.
So you have a Zwift racing score of 696, and mine is 691.
Oh, nice.
You've edged me by 5.
Oh, fair play. I mean, that's not going to last for long.
Yeah. So the scale, for just sort of clear this up, the scale goes from 0 to 1,000. 1,000 being the highest.
Yeah.
And then the races are broken down into, I think it's 5 different sort of segments that you can choose from, but this can be tailored for different events. So it means that not quite a guaranteed way, but a more certain way of making sure you're racing against people of the same abilities to what you want.
Yeah.
So I think
pretty
it's
cool.
good.
And it's also visible in game, so when you're riding, you can see your Zwift score right there on your profile.
Oh, that's cool. You can see everyone's Zwift races score,
Yeah.
so you can look up all your mates. And if yours is the highest, you can brag about it.
I think this is going to create a whole new level of competitivity.
Do you?
In game, yeah.
Okay, fair. Right, now at the start of the show, I mentioned a new set of shoes which are made to look like old shoes.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to appeal to a very specific type of person. Would you agree?
I don't know why you're looking at me.
Well, you like sort of
I like this,
the
but
path less travelled.
I do. I also like really new stuff that's designed for a purpose.
So I think this kind of fits the
yeah.
box for you.
Yeah, I mean, these do look amazing, to be fair. I don't know why I'm arguing
So
with
it's
myself. They
the
look amazing.
Sidi. How would you pronounce this? Tenacia.
Tenacia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tenacia.
Okay, and it's a new shoe that Sidi have teamed up with the folks at Leroyka for to make a new shoe that looks like an old one, but with like modern tech incorporated into it. So you've got like a super like grippy sole to work with your flat pedals, and the neat bit, right? See the sort of red band around the top of the shoe?
Yeah.
That is designed with like rivets in certain places and reinforced so that when you're using your toe clips, it's not going to just wear away at your shoe.
Oh, amazing.
So it's like reinforced for that. You've got an embroidered 1974 Sidi logo, loads of different sizes. One important question: what size feet do you have?
So I'm a 49.
Unfortunately,
EU.
these are not for you.
I was going to say...
We've got sizes of a 38 all the way up to a 46.
Yeah, that's very common.
Yeah?
When we get into the realm of the giants.
Yeah, well, that's a shame for you.
I have to look hard for shoes.
But anyway, these are pretty cool. I don't think they're going to be a mass appeal product, but real niche sort of target market out there. I like that.
Nice.
Next up in hot tech, we kind of already spoken a little bit about Marianne Voss's bike, the Cervelo Aspero. And I think it's a really cool bike. It's tricked out with SRAM group set, the reserve wheels with the self-inflating tyre system, and of course I don't want to say standard Visma Lisa bike colourway, because it's not, it is custom, but they've rolled it out across all the different teams and the bikes. I think it's cool, but one bike which I've just been drooling over ever since the race aired was Mathieu van der Poel's pearl white Canyon Grail CFR.
That's nice.
That thing is off the charts, right?
That was nice.
What do you think of the finish and just the bike in general?
Yeah, it did look insane, didn't it? I mean, Mathieu van der Poel is going to make any bike look nice,
Yeah.
let's be honest, but that one did look pretty sick.
Do you think we can ask Canyon if they can roll out this colourway as a factory finish?
Yeah, and
Please?
send it to GCN HQ.
Yeah. Right, anyway, back to some slightly sensible talk about the bike. So I did a bit of research and looking at this bike setup, and it was interesting. Kind of takes us back to our initial main talking point, because he's using a gravel bike with a road group set, and the wheels, I'm not entirely sure what they were because they're unbranded. The hubs look like Shimano hubs, but I'm not sure. So maybe we should keep our eyes peeled for that. And then the setup of the bike was like a narrower, I don't know that it's pro only handlebar, but super narrow, big flare on it. And also Mathieu van der Poel's like go-to like limited edition boost flight Celitalia saddle. Now, I don't know about you, but I thought brown saddles were all the cool thing these days. Have you not seen my brown saddle?
Yeah, I like a brown saddle.
So Mathieu van der Poel didn't get the memo. Nonetheless, what do you make of the bike in general? You think it's good?
Yeah, this is super nice. My favourite bit though was the fact he taped on his his CO2
I forgot about
just
that.
taped on the seat post, just keeping it gravel.
Yeah, I've got a bit here about that. So this was on the Canyon website. They say Mathieu forwent using the in-frame storage going instead for CO2 canister taped to the back of his gravel seat post for faster access in the event of a flat tyre.
Yeah.
There you
it off and go.
Right, and actually, finally in hot tech, we're going back to Zwift a little bit here because it doesn't matter what your Zwift racing score is, because I am leading this week's GCN Club Zwift ride.
Good shout, yeah.
So I've actually just been on holiday. I haven't done much cycling, so I think it's going to be a steady one.
Okay.
Not that it really matters because the events are banded, suitable for all abilities. So basically, as long as you don't stop pedalling, you're never going to get dropped.
Yeah, so do ride with Alex if you can, and we're doing loads of these rides throughout the winter. Just head over to the GCN Club page on Zwift and you can find all the rides there and you can join them.
If we can put the link in the description for this vid, we will. Right, more hot tech next week. Okay, it's now time for comments of the week. This is the part of the show where we read out the comments that you've left from last week's videos. And first up was the Tech Show. You and Ollie were on the show last week. I was away on holiday.
Me and a great man.
Now, I haven't watched the whole show, if I'm honest. I did skim through it, and there was some interesting phrases and terms used throughout, I would say. But anyway, Andrew Shakespeare has picked up on a couple of good bits here. He says, I don't like top tube bags because some of them are crap. The good ones are great, though. Which one out of you two said that?
That's probably me. The review to end all reviews.
The bad ones are bad and the good ones are great.
Yeah, you caught us there.
Yeah.
It's very true, though.
Andrew does say you could say the same for anything in life.
You literally could.
Right.
It's very true with top tube bags.
And then RichM.3477 says, well, he's actually edited his comments and maybe he had to modify it. So as much as I enjoy the educational content of GCN, I also really appreciate the dry humour in which Ollie seems to specialise in. I normally pick up on that's what she said opportunities pretty damn quick, but I was totally surprised by Conor's comment, if you've got a good zip, you can reach in and get your bits. So could we perhaps elaborate or give some sort of context to that?
Well, there's a lot to be said for easy access, you know.
You're not adding much context just yet.
No, we were talking about bar bags, and you want to reach in and get your bits.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Couple of innuendos in there. Also, did you guys address why on earth Ollie had 2 wrist supports on? Yeah,
we did. I think we did address that. He was absolutely broken after riding 36 hours around Monte Grappa.
Okay, so we did clear that up.
Yeah, we did. We actually did find as well, he's been icing his wrist, bless him, last week, all week, with his bag of frozen peas. He's off on holiday now in Mallorca on his bike. We found the frozen peas under the desk.
Festering.
We're going to post them to his hotel in Mallorca.
Yeah, Ollie left a bag of frozen peas in it all week, and they were going that mouldy, they would start to generate their own heat. Ollie.
Right, moving on.
Tidy up. Right, at the weekend, Si made a really cool little video all about some of the hot tech that he'd spotted out in the gravel world because he was there also racing. Do you want to run through some of these comments here?
Yeah, this is sent in by Eddie Mark on the go. Plastic frame bag has blown my mind. Very creative invention I've ever seen. I saw this, it's really cool actually. I've seen it used before in bike packing races. And it's literally just cling film.
Yeah, well,
around the triangle.
I saw it was amazing. And then the person responsible for creating such masterpiece also commented, this is Bas Vlaskamp. He says, I cannot believe my simple frame bag made it into the GCN show. Thanks for all the positive comments, everyone.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was insane. And what elevated it above what it's in for is the Velcro. There was literally an actual entry and exit point. Brilliant.
Some of the stuff he had stored in there, I think maybe questionable, like cartons of milk or something. Was that something?
Mate, try drinking milk on a really long ride. Best thing ever. Best thing ever.
Is it though?
As soon as I go over 6 hours, yeah. Milk is good. It's just like filling. It's nice and soothing on your mouth. Try it.
I'm going to pass on that. Anyway, Buster Keaton says, a potential future GCN Tech video could be to somehow determine if treaded tyres actually make any difference over slicks for riding on gravel. I'm inclined to think they don't make much difference since the top layer of gravel is typically very loose. That is actually a really good idea. I would like to find the answer to that.
Me too. I've
got a couple of ideas and thoughts behind it, but I want to know for certain the actual answer to this and what kind of difference there is. So maybe I'll pencil that one in. Right, it's now time for the bike vault. Where's the bell? Do you want to take charge of this?
I'll take charge. I always seem to put in charge of the bell. Bike vault time. This is the chance for you guys to upload your photo of your bike that's special to you to the bike vault. Just find the link in the description below. The uploader is there. Get your photos in, and we'll decide if they're a nice or a super nice with the ring of this bell.
Go on, give it a trial run. Go on. Yeah, you're a bit rusty there, aren't you?
Yeah, our filmmaker's ears are broken.
Yeah. Right, Clay Eggleston first. They say, hi, GCN proud member here. This is my steel Cinelli Vigorelli Road with rim brake Di2 setup, Ultegra cranks, gator skin tyres, TPU tubes for the GCN techies out there. And it's from...
Beautiful little bike.
Out here in Washington, DC, he says.
Love it.
Amazing content. Keep it up. Love you. Bye. The colour of this is amazing.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm putting this is super nice. I love a horizontal top tube.
Like that sort of, I guess, would you call it like a traditional or classic geometry looking shape? Yeah, I like that too.
Not much wrong with it. Nice biggie smalls.
Yeah.
Bit of a chimney. on the steerer, but I'll forgive that because I have a chimney as well. It's always nice to keep that space there when the back starts to go, and it does.
All right, do you want to super nice this?
Rim brakes as well. Oh yeah.
It's not very good, is it?
It is.
Right.
It's been whacked too many times. It's in the bike vault anyway. Thanks for sending that.
Next up is Rob Tell. So this is from Portland, Oregon, Cervelo, Caledonia, with mechanical 105, Gravel C38 wheels and a wax chain.
Nice. Yeah, beautiful.
this.
Lovely paint job. We actually had a Caledonia on the bike vault last week as well. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Popular bike, it seems.
Popular bike.
Good. Quite a lot of sort of accessories here. I can't quite make out what it is that is in his rearward bottle cage.
Looks like an exposure light on the back.
But what's in the bottle cage is not a bottle.
It looks like a kind of tool roll bag.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Maybe it was just a wallet. You just put it in there while I was taking the photo.
Wallet's that heavy, can't put it in your back pocket. I don't ever have that problem. Like this. Few accessories. I'm pleased it's got a bell on it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think that's a bell.
Yeah.
Like it. Valves at the top. 12 o'clock.
Should we super nice this?
It's got it.
You go to the next one.
Right, this has been sent in by Michael Darcy. This is a Riley Fusion Titanium. These are lovely bikes.
Yeah,
lovely bikes.
I'm an absolute sucker for a titanium bike.
Oh yeah. SLR, boost saddle, Vision Metron, 5D bars. Beautiful. Look at that.
Do you know what
That is a banger of a bike.
Do you know what I'm liking most is the way that the handlebar tape mimics a similar kind of way to the flare of colour across the top tube.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely beautiful.
I just can't find anything wrong with it. I would like to see a shadow stand utilised, available at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, just to be picky.
Yeah, but I don't think we can't be picky.
Go on, super nice.
If that doesn't get super nice, then I
don't know what does. Yeah. Mav next, they say it looks like a standard tarmac SL8, but it's not. It's custom made. It was a lot cheaper this way. The only thing someone may notice is not like the standard tarmac, is the wheels are the CL2, not SLX2, as they do not see the value in the CLX2. And also the saddle's titanium instead of carbon. Anyway, there's quite a lot of information here for this bike. But what do we make of it? Well, the picture... Can I just say the picture's at a slightly jaunty angle and very shady?
Shading's letting it down, unfortunately. Shading is letting it down, but this is a lovely, lovely bike. Full Dura race.
I think the angle that they've taken it at makes the bike look much smaller.
Yeah. I really want to supervise it. It's the shades letting me down. I just don't think it's setting off the paint job as much. I think we get a much better representation if that had been on the other side of the fence.
Well, this is like a two-way thing here in the show. There's us, the people at home that really help support the show. So we could perhaps go, do you know what? I've forgotten their name now. That's slightly embarrassing. Mav, I think you could actually do slightly better than this. Should we give them the opportunity to resubmit with a better picture?
I like this.
Please resubmit and...
It's gone to a decider.
Yeah. Resubmit, because I think this could be a super nice. But right now in its current state, it's a nice.
Get it into the sunlight.
Yeah.
Right, next up from Bart Duisterhoff. I hope I've got that right. This is my Tri-Band RC 120 disc, used for commuting and weekend rides. Modest spec. And it's a bit too small, even though it's an XL, but it's really nice. My love for road cycling. Picture taken at the start of my 8-kilometre morning commute in Grenoble, France. Beautiful place.
Imagine if that was your commute. Look at this background.
Oh yeah. What do you reckon to upgrade to an enduro race or a gravel? I'll be moving back to Pittsburgh in the US soon, mostly riding on the roads.
But saying about upgrading, I think you always just got to have the bike that is going to inspire you to ride the most. That's the most important thing. And this is probably a bike that will do that.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful bike for the job. And I mean, on that commute, that's an unbelievable place to be riding.
I'm struggling to find any fault with it. I mean, it would be nice to see the bike a bit more full frame in the picture.
Yeah, what I would say though is that I saw you ride an XL. That looks like you're a tall rider, like myself. I think the Endurace for me it's a great fitting bike.
Do you have XL, XXL?
I have double XL.
Double XL
on the Endurance and the Grizzle, and personally, I think that's a beautiful size.
Okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, good. So, nice or super nice?
Yeah, we've got a super nice.
You got a super nice there?
Yeah, we've got a super nice.
Super nice. It got. Right, Mathieu next with a Canyon Aero CF SLX8 Di2. It says a year old and still rides like a dream.
Lovely.
Oh, I like the colourway. Is this? I've never noticed this sort of not hexagonal, but the geometric shapes on the chainstays before. Is that custom?
It must
Maybe
be.
let's read their description.
Never seen that.
Yeah.
Custom wrap.
Custom wrap.
We just need to read a bit more.
Yeah.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it frustrates me to see bikes letting up against walls like this when there's a risk of them scratching the shifter maybe, but I can get over that.
Yeah.
It looks like a big bike as well.
Yeah, another is a big bike show today. Crank's not quite at 3 o'clock, a little bit off, but I had to.
Crank, can we be generous this week?
Yeah, let's just all
Super nice.
We've nearly super nice them all. There's one on a decider.
Right, that was it for the Bike Vault, which means this week's GCN show has Tech Show, has drawn to a close. Please do get involved in the comment section down below. Let us know your thoughts on gravel bikes and gravel bike courses. Do you think we're going in the right direction? Do you think bike approach should be slightly different for gravel racing? Anyway, best comments, we'll pick them out next week.
Yeah, nice one.
Conor, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, please do drop in anytime.
See you on the next one.
Bye.